Hello, grade 8s. This is our lesson on rates and specifically something called unit rates. So what a rate is, it's basically it compares two numbers and it includes units with units. So ratios, if you remember, don't really have units, but rates do. So for example, some of the units you may see are, for example, if you've ever heard of kilometers per hour or the price or cost per pound. This is the abbreviation for pound, or maybe the price per liter, or beats per minute if we're talking about heart rate. So rates are always two numbers and it involves two different units. Okay, and that's why we call them rates. So we're going to show you something very common that you'll have to do in grade 8 is calculating the unit rate. Now I'm going to say this, and it may not make sense at this moment, but as we go through, you'll see. I always tell students, you always money is always first and time is always second. When we calculate unit rate, the operation we're basically doing or using is dividing. So you always divide. You're going to divide the two numbers you see, and the money always goes first, and the time, what I mean by time is if you see something like hours, minutes, days, etc. If you see a unit that involves time, seconds, those kind of units are always second. So, for example, here's the first question. It costs $12 for 8 kilograms of peaches. So what I want to do is I want to divide these two numbers, and since this is the money number, it'll always go first. So you'll go 12 divided by 8, and you'll have your trusty calculator handy, and you'll divide those two numbers, and that will give you what is called, since we divided the money number first and the kilogram number second, the units in the answer will be price per kilogram, which is what we want. And it works out to be $1.50 per kilogram. And that's how we write it. Okay, and that's why you'll always see unit rate. It's always the price per pound, price per liter, price per kilogram, price per gram. It's always money first. Okay, so if we look at this question, for a 4-liter jug of milk, you paid $4.25. Don't make the mistake of dividing the 4, then the $4.25. This is the money number. It should go first. So we divide $4.25 and we divide it by 4, and you will get the price per liter. And if you divide those, you get $1.06. So that milk costs you $1.06 per liter. All right. Next one. Here's a time unit. Remember, I have kilometers. In 3.5 hours, you drove 400 kilometers. There's our distance. There's our time. Time is second. So I divide this one first. 400 divided by 3.5. And that will give you the kilometers per hour, because this is kilometers. This is hours, so it's kilometers per hour, and it works out to be 114.3, and we write it this way, kilometers per hour. All right. Fourth one, we have 200 people sitting in 5 rows. Well, here we go. We don't have money, and we don't have time. So which one will we divide first? Well, does it make more sense to say if there's 200 people sitting in 5 rows, am I trying to find the people per row or the rows per people? Does it make sense to say rows per people? I want to figure out how many people are in each row. So the answer is, if I'm trying to find people per row, I have to divide the people first, row second. So it's 200 divide 5. So we go 200 divided by 5, and that will tell you that there are 40 people per row. And that's the unit rate. That's what we want to find. Last one. So if I ran 132 kilometers in 7 days, right away I see a unit here that is time. Time is always second, so I divide the 132 first, time second, divided by 7. And that will tell me the units that I'm looking for is kilometers per day. How many kilometers do I run per day? Works out to be 18.9 kilometers per day. And that is called unit rate. Now, how can I use this to solve kind of a realistic problem? Let's look at one problem. Here is a question. I'll read it nice and loud here. It says, Bobby bought 4 shirts for $49.50. How much would it cost him to buy 10 shirts? Well, what makes sense here is, if I can just kind of go down here a bit, what I want to do is I want to find the unit rate. In other words, how much does it cost him per shirt? Once I know how much it costs him per shirt, then I will multiply by 10 to figure out the cost for 10 shirts. So first cost per shirt, then times 10 for 10 shirts. All right, so it looks like I'm trying to figure out the unit rate. I always divide money first, right? So I divide the $49.50 will divide by 4, and that will tell me the cost per shirt. And it looks like it is 12.375, right? 12.375 is the cost. But in money, I always tell students we need to round it off to 2 numbers, not 3 numbers. So this third 5, will change the 37 to a 38. So it actually works out to $12.38 a shirt, right? So $12.38 per shirt. So that's the number that I'm going to bring down here. So $12.38 per shirt. But I'm buying 10, so $12.38 times 10 will tell me that I am actually spending 123.8, and I have to add a 0 because it's 80 cents. So this is the cost for 10 shirts, $123.80. And that's how we use our knowledge of unit rate to solve a simple problem. And I hope you get that. Good luck.